Well, welcome to another edition of 42nd Street, Pete's Grindhouse. And today we're going to talk about a film that isn't exactly uplifting. It's something I didn't see back in the day because if you remember, I would mention Million Dollar Movie and all the stuff that they ran on that. And when this one came on, we weren't allowed, at least I wasn't allowed to see it because my mother had this expression NFK, not for kids. So obviously there was something in that movie she didn't want us to see, which sort of flies in the face of logic when you consider we were watching Blackbeard the Pirate and Genghis Khan, those two blood-soaked epics. But anyway, I decided to revisit this film, and a more depressing and dark, dreary film I don't think you would find anywhere, and Rod Steiger is the star, and Rod Steiger is an outstanding actor. And this film is basically about a Holocaust survivor who has his family, killed in the concentration camps, and now he's living in America and has this thankless job of managing pawnbroker store in Harlem, New York. And there's a bunch of vignettes in there that are pretty chilling because they show, the family being rounded up and put in the concentration camp, and they have this one scene where basically people's hands are up against the fence and their jewelry is being systematically looted. That sort of stuck with me. I grew up in that era, the 50s and 60s. Most of our parents were, fathers were W2 vets, and we were exposed to the horrors of Auschwitz and Dachau and stuff like that through a series of paperback books that were brought into school. And, as someone who had an interest in grotesque shit and horror things, I looked at these and I'm like, Jesus Christ, people actually did this to each other? And it's more, exemplified that the Rod Steiger character in The Pawnbroker is so emotionally scarred that he can't emote anything. And basically, his cage in the shop is his prison cell, so to speak. And then you get this parade of junkies and, scumbags that come in and try to sell stuff. One of them was an early performance by Rennie Santoni trying to sell a radio or something, and basically, the pawnbroker only gives him $2. A really sad scene is this obviously pregnant girl comes in to pawn her engagement ring, and she is told that it is not a stone, it is glass. And that just the look of despair on her face and her turning around is enough to make you cry. It's a powerful film. It hits below the belt, and it just shows the effects of what happened after the Holocaust. There's some interesting character actors in there. A group of thugs led by Raymond St. Jacques and Charles Dierkoff come in and sell a lawnmower that basically they said was gifted to them by a friend. And they didn't want to bring it back to the store to embarrass the friend, so they want to pawn it. Obviously it's hot, and I can't recall anybody having a front lawn in Harlem, to be honest with you. And Saul's assistant is played by Jamie Sanchez, who would go on to be Angel in the Wild Bunch, who wants to learn the trade. And basically he is given a soliloquy about how basically Jewish people had nowhere to live. They were nomads, and the whole premise of this whole thing, and it got sad. And obviously there's someone else involved in this of a laundry business, a guy named Rodriguez, who was played by Brock Peters, and Saul eventually figures out that the laundry is coming from a brothel that this guy owns. So it's a bleak, depressing movie, and it just showcases the effects of what the Holocaust did. And, the whole thing was, growing up, we were brought up on this whole thing, never again. Well, never again has happened over and over and over again. Serbia, Bosnia, the Sudan, shit that's happening today. It's a never-ending fucking thing, which is fucking horrible, and we're really lucky that we live in a country where we don't have this yet. And I say yet because even though my father and other fathers fought the Nazis in WW2, they have a stronghold in this country. And I'd be stupid not to say what's going on today, that this is encouraging this, because there's a white nationalist movement going on, and we all know who's behind it, and we all I hope he fails, and a lot of other people, I hope he fails, but unfortunately it just mirrors that there is a concentration of people in this country who basically fucking hate anyone or anything different than they are, and that kind of sucks. And speaking of my mother, this is Monday. Yesterday was Sunday. My mother turned 95 years old. And you might think it's a milestone, but for her it's not, because she's been bedridden for the last 3 years due to a broken hip. Basically, every week I talk to her, I send money for her care, and she basically told me 2 days ago that she really hopes this is her last birthday because she doesn't want to go on like this anymore. And you know what that does to me inside when I hear that shit, but I understand it, because I wouldn't want to be in a position where I have to wait for somebody to turn on the fucking TV for me, or to come in and wipe my ass because I soiled myself and shit like that. I don't want that for me, and I certainly didn't want it for her, but you can't, predict the future and what's going to happen. All I wish is that, she gets her wish and there's a peaceful end to this whole situation. It's fucking soul corroding to deal with. It's heartbreaking, and probably ain't what you guys want to hear first thing in the week, but I had to get it out of my system, because after I watched this movie and put a bunch of shit together, there's a lot in the world that's wrong. And, between dealing with her situation and my 2 dogs, man, I'm surprised I ain't gone over the fucking deep end yet. But I keep on trying to stay sane here. So, you might want to check out this movie. You might not. It's a powerful movie. Rod Steiger is one hell of an actor. He's a national treasure. And a little bit of trivia for you here, that Rod Steiger was in the Sergio Leone movie Fistful of Dynamite, a.k.a. Duck You Sucker. Originally, that film was planned for Eli Wallach to be in that role. But when Sergio Leone had made the deal with Paramount, Rod Steiger sort of owed them a picture, and that's who they stuck him with. Not that Rod did a bad job, because he didn't, but it created a rift between Eli Wallach and Sergio Leone, and Eli Wallach blew off a lead role to be in that picture. So the rift was never healed. So that's our show for today. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in. Treasure what you have, because you never know when it will be taken away from you, and we will catch you on the flip side.